Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This video is brought to you by Edullect Academy. Ahsanul Qawaid sessions are delivered by Ustadh Shah. Please like, subscribe and share.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. All praise and thanks belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we send our abundant salutations and prayers upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So we've now made significant progress so far in the last lesson. If you remember, we studied the different forms of mad. Now we're going to progress on looking at how to recite, where we have at the end of a word, if we have a fatha or we have an alif with a fatha on a particular letter, so it's literally at the end. So let's study this now. So in this session we're going to study lesson 23 and 24 together, because they're relatively short, inshallah. So let's make a start. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Repeat after me. Amma. Good. So we are holding the meme over here because there's a shadda on top of the meme. So when there is a shadda on either meme or nun, in this case, we've got at the bottom here, then you will hold the nun or meme for 2 harakat, okay, or 1 alif length. Again, amma. Next, amma. One more time. Amma. Good. So over here we didn't stretch the mim. Okay, that was short, but here we did because we have a mim alif. So ma here, ma. Okay. Next, fima. Next, fima. So we're stretching the fa ya kasra and mim alif fatha. Okay. One more time. Fima. Next, mimma. Next, mimma. Good. So again, we'll do these two. Mimma. Next, mimma. Next, kana. Next, kana. So we are stretching both the kaf alif and the nun alif here. Excellent. Next, inna. Next, inna. Next word, dhanna. Dhanna. Excellent. Moving on to the next page, page 32. Taba. Both along. Ta alif, ba alif. Okay, one more time. Taba. And then the next word, qala. Qaf alif, lam alif. Both stretched. One more time. Qala. Alhamdulillah. Next, kula. One more time. Kula. Lam alif here. Next word, liyakuna. MashaAllah. So kaf waw dhamma, ku, nun alif fatha, na. So both are stretched. So both are mad aslis here. Liyakuna. Next, faqula. One more time. Faqula. Next word, idhaba. Good. So over here, the dhal, make sure your tongue is slightly out from your mouth and your incisors, both the top and bottom, are pressing on the tongue. Okay. Idhaba. Can you repeat that? MashaAllah. Next, shi'tuma. Good. So here, remember, Hamza with a sukun means you will have to make a hiccup sound. Again, one more time after me. Shi'tuma. One more time. Shi'tuma. MashaAllah. Next word. فَلَا تَقْرَبَا. MashaAllah. So remember, lam alif, 2 harakat length here, asli, mad asli, and then over here is qalqala, and then here full mouth ra. So remember the ra is full mouth when there is a fatha or dhamma on it, or it's an empty mouth if it's a kasra. Okay, so here is a full mouth ra, and then ba alif, again we are stretching for 2 harakat. Okay, so we'll repeat this one more time. فَلَا تَقْرَبَا. Excellent. One more time. فَلَا تَقْرَبَا. MashaAllah. So finally, أَطَاعُونَا. Again, أَطَاعُونَا. MashaAllah. So now we've completed lesson 23. We move on to lesson number 24. Lesson number 24 has longer words, and therefore it will be an interesting one. So I'm hoping that you'll be able to say the words with me. Where it's too long, I'll break it up into segments, and then we'll join them together, inshallah. But I think you should get the hang of it now. You should be relatively fluent, inshallah. So let's continue. We're on page 32 and lesson number 24. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Rasulun min Allahi. Can you repeat that? Rasulun min Allahi. One more time. Rasulun min Allahi. MashaAllah. Next word. Kitabun mubinun. One more time. Kitabun mubinun. And one last time. Kitabun mubinun. Alhamdulillah. Moving on to the next word. Khayrun minhu. Again. Khayrun minhu. Now, ha is a throat character, and therefore you don't do a ghunna on the nun. Okay? So just review the first video where I identify all the throat characters, and you'll be able to, you'll need to memorize the throat characters, inshallah. So let's just repeat this one again. Khayrun minhu. Good. Now slightly longer one. بحجارة من سجيل. MashaAllah. Again. بحجارة من سجيل. And one last time. بحجارة من سجيل. MashaAllah. Next word. لوح محفوظ. Again. لوح محفوظ. One more time. لوح محفوظ. MashaAllah. Next word. صحفا مطهرة. Again. صحفا مطهرة. And one last time. صحفا مطهرة. MashaAllah. Okay, so now next word. عيشة راضية. Again, عيشة راضية. And one last time. عيشة راضية. MashaAllah. Next word. جنات لهم. Again. جنات لهم. And one last time. جنات لهم. Next word. خير لأنفسهم. Okay, so over here is khayrul, and you've got, because you've got the shadda there, you wouldn't say khayrun, because the precedence will be given to the shadda, so you will assume that it's ra dhamma and not consider it as a dhammatain. So you wouldn't say khayrun li anfusihim. You will say khayrul, going straight from ra dhamma into the lam because of the shadda. Okay, and then you will recite the lam with the kasra there, and then fatha for the alif. Okay, so one more time. Khayrul li anfusihim, and one last time. Khayrul li anfusihim. Excellent. Next. And here the same rule will apply with the ayn and lam. So you will ignore the fact that there's two fathatain there, or there's a fathatain there, two fatha. You will go single fatha into the lam straight away. Al la, like that. So let's recite. Mata'al lakum. Again, you recite. Again. Mata'al lakum. One more time. Mata'al lakum. MashaAllah. We move to the next word. Zabadarabiyan. Now over here, the alif over here is ignored. And same principle applies, that you would go straight from the dal into the ra. So let's recite again. Zabadarabiyan. Again. Zabadarabiyan. MashaAllah. Okay, moving on to the next one. So over here, again, same rule applies. The dhammatain is ignored. You simply have a single dhamma moving into the ra. Okay, so like this. Ghafurur rahimun. Okay, again. Ghafurur rahimun. And one last time. Ghafurur rahimun. Excellent. Moving on, we're almost to the end. قولوا لهم قولا معروفا. MashaAllah. One more time. قولوا لهم قولا معروفا. And one last time. قولوا لهم قولا معروفا. Alhamdulillah. And then finally, لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. Again, لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. And one last time. لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. Alhamdulillah. So that completes our two lessons, lesson number 23 and lesson number 24. I hope that's been very useful. I would expect by now you would be able to relatively fluently recite the words as they appear with the harakats, and you will be able to apply the different rules that we've studied so far. So there are some new rules that we've introduced where you simply convert dhammatain into a single dhamma, or you consider a fathatain into a single fatha and then join it to the next letter. So some of those, as you begin to recite the Quran, and we both study the recitation of the various surahs, they will become almost second nature to you. I wouldn't worry too much that there are so many rules to remember. Actually, you will apply them almost like second nature. On the back of your head, you will know them because you're reciting them. And that's the beauty of the Quran, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you, me, the tawfiq to be able to apply so many rules without even being consciously aware of them. Alhamdulillah. So that's a great blessing. And again, these rules, tajweed rules, it's a particular science. There is a lot of details in terms of the rules to study and know. But for the average reader of the Quran, you are not required to understand every single rule or any of the most of the terminologies. And again, when I studied the Mad, there are so many rules pertaining to them, and there are many other rules that I would like to go into, but that's for another session where we study Tajweed, and that's why you have a Tajweed session which is dedicated, or Tajweed studies that's dedicated for that. But for the purpose of being able to know what you need to know to recite and be at the point where you can begin to recite the Quran, that's what we are studying. So I'm omitting quite a lot of technical jargons that would be studied elsewhere, inshallah. So having said that, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep you well and keep you in the best of iman. Until next time, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We hope you benefited from this video. Please like, subscribe and share so that you too can be rewarded for the work that we do.